Okay. Hi, my name is Karis.
My name is Jennifer.
Hello, my name is Jackson.
All right, so we're going to be working on workshop number one, discussing Plato and Aristotle. So the first question is, what does Plato's Allegory of the Cave tell us about how he understands what would make a good life? Does anyone want to go first?
Um,
I'll go.
yeah,
For
go ahead, Jennifer. I'm
me,
sorry.
I interpreted the first half of the Plato Caves as when he there was a line in there. I'm gonna quote it. Give me a second to pull it up. I should have had this open. In line. At on line E, page 221, there's a line that says, "And if he's dragged out there by force up the steep and difficult path with no pause until he has been dragged right out into the sunlight, he wouldn't he find this dragging painful? Wouldn't he resent it? And when he came into the light, his eyes filled with the glare, he would be able to see a single one of these things he is now told are true." I feel like he's trying to say that the truth's gonna be hard in certain aspects of your life. You're just gonna have to face them no matter if it's like metaphorically you coming out kicking and screaming. You're gonna have to face it no matter how difficult it is. And not life is you have to, in pursuit of happiness, you're gonna have to go through those obstacles.
Mhm. Yeah, I 100% agree. I definitely think that he's emphasizing that while changing from like the dark to lightness and having that like enlightenment pyramid period or like this era of like revelation, that it's going to be difficult, but like ultimately it'll lead to like fulfillment and lead to greater knowledge and greater like intellectual and like life understanding. And kind of to just like bounce off your ideas, I definitely want to emphasize how um from what I perceived, that Plato really emphasized the importance of education. He used education as like a catalyst for change, a catalyst to enlighten someone's life. And he also explains how when we were in this cave, our the usage of like the metaphor of the cave is that we are kind of like hidden away, casted from the shadows, and kind of ignorant to what the outside world can offer us. And until we are able to like step out into the light and step out into the different opportunities or like education, that we'll continue to be blind. And one quote that I would like to reference is that I'm not really sure what line it is, but it states that education is not what some people proclaim it to be. What they say, roughly speaking, is that they are able to put knowledge into souls where none was where none was before, like putting sight into eyes which were blind. And basically, from my interpretations, he's saying that knowledge is not just to be transferred over, but to be transferred over and to be grown upon. So when we step into this light, it's important to like maximize those opportunities of education or newer understandings and then like grow upon it. And I think he definitely expands upon that in other parts of like the text when he talks about we should question why things are, or we should question how things are, or what's the deeper meaning.
I very much agree with that too, to be honest. And like that was well said in my
Oh,
opinion,
thank you.
like to say the least. I think also one thing too to like that he kind of not like he talks about it but never really bring it up is that journey through the education. Like how like for him to actually get through the light, he has to be dragged through. He was
Mhm.
afraid to really go out into the thing, but with him getting dragged through, he understands that now like there is maybe more out there. So he stays there. He slowly stays in the light, looks up at the lake, sees the reflection, starts going up, but he has to like actually be journeying through experiencing this to educate himself. He can't really just be shown, he has to actually live through it.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was like a big representation in that, and what Aristotle almost says too in his works, how like the carpenter and the mathematician both understand what a 90 degree is, but they view it through different eyes. They understand that the carpenter has built so many houses that the 90 degrees is going to sustain a house, while the mathematician understands that the 90 degrees will solve all these questions that he's trying to answer in his math life. Like, but you wouldn't understand that without living, without experiencing the way you experience life.
Yeah. I think that was also a really great point that you made. Do you guys feel comfortable enough to moving on to question two?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the second question that is being asked is what does Aristotle mean when he says that the goal of political science is happiness, the good life for the members of the community?
I'll admit, I had a tough understanding of what he meant by political science. And I think maybe it's because I already have just an idea of what my perception of political science is. Like I understand like he said like that it is to like achieve like the end all be all of what happiness is. Or like like there is like but then I don't under I just that's where I kind of get lost because I think of political science is like I guess like I don't know, just I was having a tough time understanding what that one meant.
Mm. Jennifer, did you want to elaborate?
For me, I interpret it as for his, sorry, um, I feel like I can't elaborate. I'm sorry.
I'll go a little bit sorry, I'll go a little bit farther into it. Um because like I know he follows up talking about the masses, how the yeah, you're basically split up into three different types of people from what he was saying, how they have the I'm just gonna call them everyday people. Then you
Mhm.
have the
Like
like
the
the
normal people,
yeah,
normal.
the normal people. How and then how the second group, the thinkers or whatever you want to say, and then the third group, the I kind of forget what the third one is off the top of my head, but how they all have the same idea how they can achieve happiness. But if you ask the everyday person, almost depending on the day, they're gonna achieve happiness. Like if they're not feeling good, they're just their happiness is health. If they're poor, their happiness is wealth. So on and so forth. That's kind of where I still get lost with the political science, and I don't understand really what he means by the ultimate happiness. Is the way I perceived it.
Yeah. I definitely would want to agree with you that there is definitely like some gray room. But I think Aristotle constantly emphasizes like the point of that each person's perceptions of happiness is a little bit different. And so when he talks about polis or like achieving that through like the political science lens, it's definitely finding like that justice or like cultivating like a status quo of happiness or like opportunity for individuals to kind of like give them that chance to explore what happiness might mean to them. That's the way I interpreted it.
Okay, so like, would you be saying that like political science isn't like something that one creates, but it's just already there, and it's up to us to find out the one definition of political science?
Well, political science is like the systematic process of like government and like the way humans might interact and like the way government is set up. And so that, in my opinion, sets the status quo or like the system or like human systems. And
For the
that,
idea of happiness.
yeah, for the idea of happiness, and that we must live through that like status quo in order to find like different like options or different like goals in our life.
Okay,
I
okay,
liked
okay.
how you said that because we have to go since he focuses on the like formal logic. I feel like as we grow up, we have all these pathways, but we have to use our own like personal, like Jackson said, we have to like use what like interpret it as like which one would be in our opinion, like which one would path would should we take logically within our minds and how we perceive life and how we where um the things that led us to there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with that because every person's like life experiences are a little different. And so like he was emphasizing like some people view money as like the ultimate means to happiness, or some people view like education as the ultimate means to happiness. And so when we incorporate the idea of like political science into creating this like good life for like the members of our community, it's essentially just setting up like that system where different people from different walks of life are able to come together within like a system to create their own happiness or like find their own happiness.
And like establish that like I mean because the whole first like the first principle what was it? Yeah, the first principle. Because I said like I think what he was trying to say too, and I could be wrong on this, but even though we all have our own walks of life and our own definition of happiness, we can understand that there is one defining meaning of happiness, and we all just kind of branch down from that
Mhm.
thing. And I kind of spaced out where I was going with this. I'm getting distracted. There's a little thing on the top right thing that says time left 340. So if
Yeah, I just saw that too.
there's a chance that it might go down.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, we'll reset up a new one, and we can
Okay.
add. We'll just send in both videos and count it all as 30 minutes.
Okay. Did you want to just end it there and then we can
No, let's ride it out
okay.
because you never know. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then if anything, should we just communicate through the group Eagle thing? That little
Yeah, yeah.
group. Okay. Let's do that.
Were we supposed to do that different? Sorry about that. I thought that was just the way that we should have went about it.
From my understanding, that's the only
Okay.
option. So I think we did okay. I mean, we're here
Okay.
talking about the workshop and
Uh,
I think we're
I
good.
think we can move on to the third question.
Okay. Okay, so the third question that was presented is both Plato and Aristotle are suggesting that education is an important part of moving toward a happy and good life. What do they each convey on this matter? Um, does anyone want to go first?
Um, I'll say so in like I guess I almost want to say I guess like kind of back to the first principle theory, however you
Mhm.
want to put it. They both are trying to say that really understanding your education will result in ultimate fulfillment or happiness or whatever you
Yeah.
want to say. They both like have their own way of coming to that belief, and what I like my belief is what they believe,
Mhm.
but I think that's their ultimate goal, like their ultimate statement they're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
Because I
Jennifer,
think
did
there's
you?
a I'm sorry,
No.
there's a big difference in like knowing something and complete than understanding something.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but I'm sorry. I think that's kind of like what I felt they conveyed education really mean is like the best form of education.
Yeah. I think education is definitely important both of their like ideologies. For Plato, I think he definitely emphasized it more and like um used like the word education in that sense in a lot of his texts, saying like how it changed people like intellectually, spiritually, conceptually, in understanding like the world and its truths and like getting away from like uh that sort of like ignorant mindset. As far as like Aristotle's belief, he definitely takes like a different approach and approaches it as a means to like the ethics and how we can find like an equal balance between like the vices or like it says less than a minute. I don't want to take that off.
It's okay. That's good because we're like like oh, should we just talk it out, see what happens, and then we can come back to the third question?
Yeah.
Because I would think like if we stop recording in our Zoom meeting, thank you by the way for setting this up.
No, you're good. You're good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, Worst comes to worst, we'll communicate through Canvas, and then we'll just reset a Zoom meeting for right now, if that's okay.
Or yeah, we can just start up a new recording, like you
That's
said.
what I'm kind of hoping that will because I don't think because we were able